Hi, and welcome to A Better Place. Today we will be having an educational forum as we speak to 3 directors of 3 school boards on St. Martin. Stay tuned, we will be right back.
Man, I'm supposed to take my girl out to dinner this weekend. I'm so broke, man.
Man, I used to have those same problems, you know, but since I got my whip company card, when I take my lady out, I even get something back, you know.
Get something back? Well, you're a lucky fella.
I take your mind out the gutter, man. What I mean is, with whip company I get back 1% on every purchase I make. With this card, I can spend in guilders and use it throughout the Netherlands and TDs. Instead of paying 1% of the dollar credit card, man, I get 1% back on every purchase I make at the end of the year.
What? I gotta get myself a company card.
Man, but let's go.
Let me go. Man, now my lady's birthday gonna be a real celebration.
At least now with Whip Compaleon, I know you're gonna get something back.
The Whip Compaleon credit card with limits as low as 500 guilders. You don't have to walk with cash and it is accepted by practically all businesses. The Whip Compaleon is the first guilder credit card that can be afforded by anyone.
Welcome to A Better Place, Mr. Spring, Mrs. Aventurin, and Mrs. Stevens. We will be having an educational forum today, so feel free to join in the conversation. I'm not going to be directing any particular question to an individual. I just want us to chat about education. I've already had all 3 of you on the program before discussing the specifics about your particular schools, being the Methodist Agogic Center, the Catholic School Board, and of course the Hillside Christian School Board. Let's talk about language of instruction within the schools. We know that 2 school boards here have recently started, or no, 1 school board has recently introduced an all-English curriculum, whilst we have the Catholic School Board that offers both, and we have the Methodist Agogic Center that offers only English. How has that been going for the schools?
Well, for our school, this is the first year that we have a complete Dutch language of instruction school and 1 completely English. And that was made possible because we have 2 campuses now. Before, both campuses were emerged in one place. And this year, we were able to really separate the 2 languages. And so far, I must say, Angelique, it's working very well because we believe in the complete immersion of the language of instruction, and it is possible, and the children are enjoying it, and the parents are very supportive. So that was the one that we were not very familiar with, but it's happening. The English, we had it all along. So that's at a new campus, and that's working fine. And of course, both where we have only English as the language of instruction, we also have Dutch as a subject. And the same for the Dutch language instruction school, we have English as a subject. And it's working. It's a new experience for us, but we are very pleased that we could do that. And we learned a lot from our Catholic colleagues because they started it years ago with a complete Dutch language of instruction program. And we learned a lot, and we still have some questions, and we approach them, and they are very helpful.
So since you've talked about the Catholic School Board, Mrs. Aventurin, tell us about the language of instruction and how that has been working out at your campuses.
Okay, we have 4 primary schools with language of instruction Dutch and 2 with language of instruction English. I think we should offer with students as much as we can, because a child can learn anything that you teach the child. So if you teach the child Dutch, French, or even Spanish, they will learn it. You should have a very strong program for the students. And in coming to realize that, we brought in some experts for the Dutch language. and we revisited our curriculum that we have for Dutch, and we have enhanced our standards, and we've noticed already a big change starting from the group 1 with the language of instruction Dutch. So we are trying to offer them as much as possible with the Dutch language, and so far it's working really, really good. We have children from group 1, they can come and deliver a message in the Dutch language. So probably later if we can teach them Spanish too, we'll do that.
Just to add to that, if I may, we have started with early childhood, with age 3. And they just love it. If you hear those kids singing and using like simple words, like greeting you, goedemorgen juf, goedemiddag, and hoe maakt u het? I mean, these 3 years old, they can do it. And if you hear them doing the rhymes, and I mean, it's just wonderful. So, just what you said.
Yeah, and you can see it. I see it reflect. I have a little grandson at home, and he just started a group 1. And I was surprised when he came and asked me for water in Dutch. He said, Tante, mag ik water drinken? Like, what? And he just started a group 1. So we can see with a strong Dutch program, and with the input, you get the output.
Yeah, but one of the things with language, especially in school, you're teaching the like for Mr. Davis, the Dutch in the English school as a second language or as a foreign language, because it makes a difference.
Absolutely, you know the difference, yes.
Because if it is done as a second as a foreign language, then you need to get the backing at home, where the parents will at least give the child the opportunity to practice what he has been taught in school, and then that will sort of reinforce it and consolidate the whole acquisition of the language.
Right. Yep. It's really tough, that one. But we will work. We are working towards it. And again, I think we have to have more discussions what you are achieving, because you are doing it at your school.
That's what I wanted to ask Mrs. Spring. Now, how do you approach Dutch in your school? Because your school is uses English as a language of instruction.
Right. So we approach Dutch as a foreign language, and it is also even the teaching of English. We also look at it as more or less a foreign language, because our language, even though we speak English, we can have that the creolized English, but in the classroom we have to teach standard English, and to teach standard English we have to approach it as a foreign language.
Okay, Mr. Spring, hold that thought. We're going to come back from a break, and you're going to continue to explain what you were explaining concerning the Dutch and English language.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. We will be right back.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, Saba, and Statia, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Princess Juliana International Airport. PJIA, an ultra-modern airport offering you a warm and efficient welcome. From the breathtaking landing to the easy flow of passengers, PJIA has a spacious, clean, and traveler-friendly terminal with great food and excellent duty-free shopping. PJIA, a leader in Caribbean aviation with daily connections to all major Caribbean destinations and major cities within the USA, Canada, Europe, and Latin America. PJIA, your gateway to paradise.
were explaining why you approach Dutch as a foreign language, and then that you do you do it also similarly for the English language.
For the standard English.
Right.
Because as a foreign language, is that you teach more like the fundamentals, and modeling by the teacher is extremely important, so that the child will be able to have the articulation of the word. Also, the vocabulary should be done in such a tangible way. For example, if they speak about the hand, I mean, there must be hand or something to sort of show it. And with that, we will need the support of the home, where the child can sort of practice. There's what we encourage parents, for example, who have the command of the Dutch language, that at least 1 day per week, they speak to the child or the children in Dutch, so that the child will sort of get the practice of hearing the language and also be able to communicate with it.
But I have a question, because I've seen it work and I always say I find it quite amazing that Dutch children are so fluent in English, and their entire education is in Dutch, and they also have English, and I don't even recall from which class they get English as a subject. So I'm saying our children who are being taught English within the English schools should be able to be just as fluent in Dutch.
Yes, which is true. But where the reverse is, where the child language of instruction on St. Martin is in Dutch, they hear English in the community. They hear English from the television. They have all their Facebook is English and whatever the case is. So the child easily become competent in the use of the language. They might not be able to write it as fluently as they speak it, because English, a language, you have the listening, the speaking, the reading, and the writing. Sometimes we do not reach that proficiency in the writing. For example, I'm amazed with children on the French side. They can hold a conversation with you very friendly in English, but when it comes to writing it, many of them cannot do it, and that because of of our society. So where we have it in school, we have to have a lot of modeling, both in the reading, the writing, and the speaking. For example, in the one of our aim at the MAC from this year on is to challenge teachers to keep up an extremely high standard of standard English within the school environment, whether it's on the playground, whether it's in the classroom, because the children need a model. So
sometimes, not to cut you, I remember when my nephew and niece were going to the MAC, they would come home sometimes and they would say a word, and and then not quite understandable to me, and it's English. But sometimes I think teachers do forget that within the classroom they also have to uphold the standardized English. So dialects is one thing, but the actual correct pronunciation and stuff has to be enforced within the classroom.
Right. And one of the things that we need to teach children to is how to switch, because we want our children to learn the Creole English. Like let us say St. Martin English, if you may use that word. They must be able to learn it and use it. But at the same time, we have to teach them and for them to develop that ability, know when to switch to the Creoleized English and also to the standard English and even the English that they're using on Facebook. They have to know when to switch. But it is extremely good that they master all this.
I do agree with Mr. Spring when it comes to teaching the Dutch as a foreign language. What you were